I don't know if you guys have ever experienced this, but recently there's certain people that have been triggering me in the sense that, especially women, in the sense that, you know, they want to sleep with me, they want to um, basically just have like a quick hookup, and I'm feeling the internal pressures, from the world, from society, to really go ahead and sleep with them, knowing, but I already know in the back of my mind that's not going to happen, period, right? Because I've already devoted myself to God. And I realize, though, that in this hookup culture that we live in now, that those types of pressures do exist. And I remember, when I was, you know, 13, 14, you know, getting into that whole teenage state where people start dating, and then if girls want to sleep with you, it almost felt, well, back then it felt bad to say no, because then women would be like, oh, well, there's something wrong with him, he doesn't want to sleep with me, da 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 da. And so that's actually what had me cave in, at a very young age, to start sleeping with women and to start sleeping around, because I felt that internal pressure, right, especially from women, you know, growing up. And so as I went around sleeping around with a bunch of women, trying to fill a void inside myself that only God could fill. But obviously I didn't know this back then. I I'm now being triggered with the same situations, but now that I'm, older, I'm a little bit more grown, obviously, a little bit wiser. I realize now that I can say no and not feel bad about it. You know, I still feel those internal pressures just because I'm being triggered, but at the end of the day, like, I just sit around and think, like, did Jesus actually ever feel that way? Ever, feel pressured by the world to get married, or to, have sex, or to, like, questioned about maybe his sexual orientation? Like, did he ever have to go through any of that? Because he wasn't sleeping around, he wasn't idolized because of all the women that he slept with. He was the son of God, right? But I always wondered how he dealt with that, or if he even had to deal with that, right? And so as I'm going through these triggers, I realize that it's just gonna have to be a simple answer. If people ever ask me why I'm single, or why I'm not married, or why I'm not having sex, it's a simple answer, like, I'm saving myself for God. Like, that's the simplest answer that I can ever give somebody. And then if people don't respect that, right, then I don't have to really put up with them. Like, I could just cut them out of my life. No one is worth me losing what I've already built, with semen retention and this relationship with God on semen retention. And so if you guys ever feel pressured by the world, just know that it's like the devil, man. It's the devil trying to get you to crack, just like it got me to crack at a very young age. I had no guidance at that time, like, my mother passed away, and I didn't have anyone to guide me. Like, my father wasn't around, he was always working, so I was just left on my own, and family wasn't around either. So I realize, though, that now that these triggers are coming up, I get a second chance now to fix what I could have done when I was younger. And just telling people, like, dude, I'm saving myself for God, And if they have a problem with it, they could shove it up there, what, right? And so I'm here to let you know you're not alone, right? You are walking in a narrow path. It's not going to be easy, but it'll be well worth it, I'll tell you that. There's things that I have seen that no one else will ever see. It's like the Bible says, what no eye has seen and what no ear has heard. The things that God has prepared to them that love him. And so, guys, stick to the path. Regardless of how uncomfortable it makes you feel, deal with those emotions, deal when you get triggered, and just watch how everything starts to unfold, right? Because you're being like a witness just by how you live. And for some reason, guys, I don't know why, but I keep getting these nudges in the spirit that we are already living in the last days. And I know people have been saying that for a long, 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 long time. But just look at everything that's happening in the world, man. Like, we are closer now than we were way back then. Like, I'm sure a lot of us can agree that we are a lot closer to the end now than we were 2,000 years ago. So pay attention to the signs. You know, the spirit is always talking, and I keep feeling those nudges in my spirit. So guys, get ready, be ready, right? Always stay vigilant, man, because you never know when Jesus will come back. You really don't. And you don't want to be caught messing up, messing around. So guys, I'm sending you so much love. Stay safe, stay vigilant, stay alert, keep on this thing, and you'll be good. So talk to you guys soon. Peace.